Hey YouTube, it's Grawlys here with my first proper Q&A video. A couple of weeks ago I posted almost a pre-Q&A asking for some questions if anybody wanted to find out a little bit more about me or how the old grey matter ticks. So I've got a few questions that came in. Some interesting ones, so without kind of further ado we'll get on to answering some of the questions. But before I do that, I've prepared the questions here, but I need the glasses on to be able to see what I'm reading. So the first question was, and these are in no particular order, 33 Clay Dog. We had a question from Clayton, who asked, what's your favourite Eldar vehicle, and have you read any of the Black Library Eldar books, and if so, what was pick of them? To answer the first part, favourite Eldar vehicles, I think when the new Eldar came out, the Crimson Hunter really kind of attracted my attention. It's kind of got that sleek, elegant look to it. I've kind of built mine, I've got mine slightly differently, so mine's kind of a cross between the two versions, the Hemlock Fighter and the Crimson Hunter. So mine's kind of a hybrid, but the overall look to the Crimson Hunter is nice. The other one that I like, I've not got any of these, so maybe one day I might invest and get at least one of them, is the Forge World model of the Hornet. As it looks really kind of delicate and kind of fragile, but it's powerful at the same time. I think that looks really good, even though it does look like a crayfish. I think the Hornet is it's my favourite of the Forge World models. I can't say Forge World. And the Crimson Hunter of the Games Workshop plastic models. So there you go, 2 for 1 there, Clay. The Black Library Eldar books, yes, I have. Don't read as often as I used to do, but I have read Path of the Seer, and I enjoyed that. So I kind of ended up with a copy of the Path of the Eldar, which is the omnibus of all three. So it's Path of the Warrior, Path of the Outcast and Path of the Seer, and all three storylines overlap, and it's how it affects the three individuals in each of the stories, with each coming into each other's story and obviously the outcomes at the end. So I'm currently, I've read Path of the Seer, currently trying to read the other two in the omnibus edition. So yes, Eldar books, I like them. Next question, Big Mech Danskull, Dan Gibbons, asks, if Manchester City were a faction in 40k, which would they be and why? And so you may have figured from some of my vlogs wearing hat and scarf, I'm a big Manchester City fan. And I think first and foremost, if City were a 40k faction, you'd have to think in what context. So the only thing that kind of really stood out for me would be Space Marines, because there's so many chapters of Space Marines and all at kind of different levels and foundings. It's almost like the football leagues. So over here we've got the Premiership, the Championship, and then League 1 and 2. After that it goes into a non-league. But for the leagues, you could almost equate the Space Marine chapters to various football leagues. With that in mind, I had a look excuse me, the colour schemes, and the one that stood out closest to Man City's first kit is a chapter called Venerators of Osiron. Blue torso, white legs. Pretty much, it's bob on for the Man City kit. However, I then thought Manchester City were one of the earliest football teams in the Football League in England. It's almost like a founding chapter, and Venerators of Osiron, and even as far as I know, a successor chapter. I'm not quite sure where they come from. So really, it should be a founding chapter. Now the only founding chapter that I'm aware of that wears blue is the Space Smurfs, the Ultramarines, but it's too dark a blue to represent City. As a compromise, there is a successor chapter to the Ultramarines, which is the Sons of Gulliman. They fit the bill with the pale blue and the white. They're just not internationally known. They're not as famous, I suppose, as the Ultramarines are. Let's say City are one of the top teams in England at the moment. We're currently second in the league behind Leicester. We've been very successful over the past couple of years. Hopefully continue to be so. But when it comes to which faction would Manchester City be if they were in 40k, I would probably say let's go for Sons of Gulliman in the Space Marines. Yeah, I like that. But when I was looking through excuse me, when I was looking through some of the chapter colours, there was quite a few other chapters that reminded me of other British football teams or English football teams. So I've made a little list here. So you've got Brazen Claws, very much remind me of Crystal Palace with the red and blue quarters. White Scars could well be Tottenham Hotspur, playing all in white. Blood Angels, all in red, could be Liverpool. Dark Hunters, all in kind of a darker blue, that could be Chelsea. Sons of Horror, who have red but white shoulder pads, very reminiscent of Arsenal's shirt. Blood Ravens with the red, white and black, that kind of fits in more with Manchester United. Not precisely, we're more kind of a tenuous link with that one, but what other chapters do you think remind you of a football team or a sports team? Leave me a comment below if you think your football team or your sports team you can kind of see in a Space Marine chapter. So that'd be interesting to know. Right, next question. Mammoth Painting Studio. So this is a question about Eldar from my eldest, Mike. He asked, would your Eldar consider an alliance with their dark kin? Also, do you think Mother Grawlys will ever let you buy a Revenant or Phantom Titan? Okay, first part is the easy bit. Most definitely. I think the Craft World Eldar, the Dark Eldar, the Harlequins, and even to some degree the Corsairs and the Exiles, and they're all Eldar at the end of the day. Whether they diversified, it's almost akin to say it's like different nations in the world today. We have our own ways and own customs and own laws and everything else, but we're all humankind. So definitely, I would say that my Eldar definitely would consider, and especially with it being a Baeltan army, it's all about kind of recapturing how Eldar used to be. Going back to the old kind of glory days when the Eldar were a significant power, and they were the nuts in the universe. So I think yes, definitely an alliance on the cards. And Mother Grawlys letting me buy a Revenant or Phantom Titan. I think 6 words sum it up. Not a cat in hell's chance. Sorry. So not a cat in hell's chance. I think if we won the lottery and I could justify a significant purchase like that, then maybe it would have to be as a display model in a case. It's not something I would be willing to kind of pack in a case and take down to a game or anything. Not that I play games, I do it mainly for the modelling anyway. But £460 or so for just the body, and then you've got probably another £110–120 for both arms. You're looking at a serious amount of money for a bit of kit. And Mother Grawlys, Mrs. Grawlys, sends you a message, Mike, that be prepared for a clip round the ear for having the brass what's it's to even ask that question. So yeah, no, I don't think I'd ever get a chance to get an expensive model like a Titan. Hell freezing over and all that. Next question. IDICBeer. Thanks, Nick. He asked, out of all the videos you watched in 2015, which one stood out the most to you? So I had to think hard and go back through my history. It actually took me quite a while to answer this question. But when I came across a certain video in my history on my computer, I thought, definite candidate. So it was just one that kind of blew me away. So it was one probably about 7–8 months ago. It was from the end of June 2015, from a channel called, it looks like The Architect. This video has had 117, or just a shade over 117,000 views and 4,091 likes, and I've got it, if I can get my screen up and running, I've got it here, so I shall play it for you if you can hopefully hear it. But this is a magnetically levitating Eldar jetbike conversion. Have a look.
Okay guys, here's a video showing off my converted Eldar jetbike. Here it is. As you can see, it doesn't look like most Eldar jetbikes. I've used the base here of a Eldar heavy supports weapon. I've used the cockpit of an Eldar war warper. It'd usually be in this position, but it's specifically the one from Forge World which has this different canopy. And I've used the rear of one of the new Eldar jetbikes. And one of the sort of standard shuriken cannons you can get off Wave Serpents or even the War Warp itself. It's magnetised, so I can swap it out. And inside, the canopy can come off. I haven't finished it yet, it's just blue tacked on, but the driver's there. He's missing legs though, because if you look in there, I can't really see very well, but right here there's some magnets that traverse down through this bit here and end up in 2 larger magnets underneath. And that's important because of this thing here. Into view. This is a base for my Eldar jetbike. I know obviously it's far too big usually, but it's a special one. It has, you can just about see it in there, a battery, various electronic components. These are actually the cooling vents really for stopping it getting so hot. It has a series of electromagnets around this central bit. Hopefully we can get my jetbike to fly. Let's just make sure that's nice and focused for everyone. we go. Okay. So if I bring the jet bike in and lower it down to the middle, the electromagnets will kick in and they start trying to stabilise this little jet bike model in mid-air. There we go. So just stop that rotating a bit. I've actually set it up so it always points in this direction by attaching smaller little magnets to the front you can't see, which sort of stops it moving around. After a while it does spin around, but it stays in that position for quite a while. It is true magnetic levitation. There's no strings, no wires. You can see you can run this around it. I've included a little back piece of ornamentation because I can also hover larger vehicles like my Wave Serpent and anything else really that I feel like I could get in the air. And so yeah, that's it folks. Feel free to sort of comment, like the video, let me know what you think, and yeah, cheers.
When I watched that, that was, oh my god, how brilliant is that? It was really a wow moment. So kudos to the architect for actually building that and sharing it with us. Now I know a lot of you, obviously how many, over 4,000 likes and 117,000 views, and a lot of you probably have seen that already. But there's another one where he's got a levitating Wave Serpent as well. It's like a follow-on video for this one. But I watched that and that totally blew me away. So I think in answer to your question, Nick, which video in 2015 stood out to me the most, it was that one. For those of you who have not seen it or want to go and watch it again, I'll leave a link in the description below. So thanks for that one, Nick. You made me work for that question, that answer. The next, and this is the last question, comes from Tabletop Banter. It's Callum, his name over there, who asked, if you could be any HQ choice from any 40k codex, who do you think would represent you most? With my love of all things Eldar, I'll take them off and I can see the camera. With my love of all things Eldar, you'd think I'd choose somebody like Eldrad, Ulthuan, or IDICBeer. All well and good. However, you asked who represents me, and I think whether it's one of the Eldar characters or one of the Primarchs or named characters from any 40k army, I don't think, even though I'd like to think, yeah, that's me, I think there's something that represents me far better. Now I'm by career choice, I work in customer service as a manager, and that's being part of the masses rather than somebody who kind of like really kind of stands out at the top of the organisation. So for a HQ choice who would represent me, I would probably suggest the Astra Militarum or Imperial Guard, however you want to determine that, as a humble platoon sergeant. However, that's not necessarily a HQ choice, so maybe up it a little bit to become a captain. But Imperial Guard, part of the masses, running a team of people, not necessarily standing out as a major leader, but really having a major contribution with the people, and that's what I do. So good question, that one, Callum. Made me kind of evaluate myself a little bit, but evaluate the HQs and the leaders within 40k to kind of go, yeah, which one would I be? So yeah, Imperial Guard Captain. That's who I would say represents me the best. Even though being a a sidekick, I would like to think it would be Eldrad. Yeah. But no, Imperial Guard Captain. So thank you for all your questions. There's a little bit of work to get some of them, to actually make me sit and think about some of the answers as well. If you would like to ask me any further questions, please leave them in the comment section down below. If you've kind of liked my answer and you'd like me to carry on doing some Q&A videos, please again leave your question down below. Let me know if you like this one or not, whether it's worth doing it as an ongoing series of videos. Probably every month or so I could probably do a Q&A on the back of any questions I get in, or every couple of weeks, every month. We'll see how it goes, depending on how many questions. So thank you for that. Thank you for any future contributions, and we'll leave this video here for now. Look forward to more in the future. So, as always, take care from Grawlys Lair.